Saturday morning volleyball coming your way from the Cub Cave. It's another Lucas Tri-match with the Hillsdale Lady Falcons, Lucas Lady Cubs, and South Central Lady Trojans. First up, Lady Cubs take on the Lady Falcons. It's live, it's free, it's coming your way on your smartphone, TV, PC, tablet, any smart device you have, and it's on your way next.
What's up, America? Brian Skoronsky here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cub Cave on the campus of Lucas High School for this morning's Lucas Tri-Match. It may be week one of the college football season, but we got a little volleyball before you. While you have your coffee, your donuts, whatever you have. Did you miss us? We were just on about 9 hours ago with the pigskin, but we're back with some volleyball. Travis Brody alongside G-Man Garrett Parlett, and G-Man, Lucas taking on Hillsdale. Hillsdale trying to get win number one on the season while they come in here against a Lucas squad. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Trav, you mentioned Hillsdale looking for their first win. They're only able to win 2 sets against Mapleton. They're only 2 sets of the season so far they've been able to pick up. And Lucas, a team that they beat the teams they're supposed to beat. They've beaten a Clear Fork team, a Plymouth team, and a Crestline team. But they've lost to the likes of Northmore, Colonel Crawford, and New London. So an interesting matchup we got here. Lucas, I think, is the favored the opponent here. But Hillsdale, they can come in here and maybe steal one on the road.
Let's take things down to the court for the playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. All right, G. Now that we have honored America, let's take a look at the roster players. G. That's a new one. That's one you'll be on me for about a couple months about. For the Hillsdale Lady Falcons, the visiting Hillsdale Lady Falcons, and those fans of the OH Report. Well, they'll know a few names here from the state Final Four softball squad, but we'll go through everybody. Kaylin Moner, Riley Rachel, Allie Morgan, Emily McGovern, Willow Funk, J.C. Sermulis, Kennedy Fickus, Belle Doughton, Taylor Morgan, Liv Motley, Macy Major, and Riley Wagner. They're coached by Jennifer Wells, and as you've seen, Willow Funk, Sermulis, Doughton, Morgan, and Kennedy Fickus all on that softball squad. They're all coming back too, so let's see if that translates over to the volleyball side, get a couple wins.
Yeah, Travis, you mentioned a very good softball team Hillsdale is, and not able to pick up their first win here yet in volleyball, but still some all-around great talent. Belle Dalton, 1.9 kills per set, a 19% hitting percentage, 20 total blocks on the year, 5 total aces, and 32 total kills. So obviously room for improvement, but a team that's coming in here, looking for an upset here on the road in the Cub Cave.
Now for the Lady Cubs roster, Abigail Smith, Kaylin Cockerty, Marissa Cockerty, but she rolled her ankle in warm-up, so we'll see maybe if she'll be able to go for the second match against South Central, but not in the lineup right now. Brianna Osborne, Maya Midkiff, Maddie Boyer, Malia Strickler, Olivia Brown, Amaya Howard, Shelby Grover, Cameron Blackledge, Samantha Darling, Addie Melton, Sydney Blackledge, and they are coached by Paige Sauter, and as usual, all eyes on Shelby Grover.
Yeah, it's hard to talk, Lucas Cubs lady sports without involving the name Shelby Grover. I mean, she's a standout athlete, and she does it here on the volleyball court too, Travis. 42% hitting percentage, 4.8 kills per set, 24 total blocks, 5.6 digs per set, 6 total assists, and 67 total kills.
Lady Cubs keys to victory, avoid the run. In the last tri-match we were at, they allowed Clear Fork back into a couple of the sets by letting them have a couple, runs of 6-7 points to get them back in it. The same with Northmore. They kept it close, and Northmore would go on a 6-7 point run to pull away. Set up Shelby Grover. I mean, one of the best volleyball players we'll see, especially at the small school ranks. TCB, take care of business. and handle home court. If they can do that, they'll come out with a victory or two. First point goes to the Lady Cubs via the hitting error, and that happens a lot with Hillsdale. They need to really turn those down if they want to have a chance at winning this one today.
Yeah, and a nice serve right there from Lucas to get another point and go up 2-0. But for Hillsdale, Travis, I think they have to hang tough here. They got to get some points on the board because the team with Lucas, you just talked about the runs. Lucas can go on their own runs himself, and you got to be able to handle that if you're Hillsdale on a team that hasn't, won any games here so far this season. They've only won those 2 sets against, Mapleton. They're going to have to pick it up if they want to stand here against a very tough Lucas team.
That shot just wide, so Lucas with the first 3 points. Take a look at Taylor Morgan, all-state pitcher for the Lady Falcons. Maya Midkiff on a 3-0 run thus far to start things off. Grover off the block and down. You'll be seeing a lot of that.
Makes it look too easy, Trav. Somehow elevating that high and being able to spike the ball at that kind of rate. I'm not sure if anybody's going to be able to block her so far here today because she's showing out here in the early goings.
Rachel with the reception over to Morgan. It's a free ball. Set up for Grover. In the middle, that's McGovern. And the Lady Falcons on the board. Nice ball movement there.
I think that was a big point here to stop some of that momentum. It could have got ugly here quick, but Hillsdale able to capitalize right there and just drop it right in. Before Hillsdale not able to recover.
Checking out Macy Major. That is the daughter of your former football head coach at Crestview.
Yeah, Dan Major, my former high school football coach. So it's kind of crazy because I remember when she was around the team, she was a little bit younger. It's crazy to see all grown up now, a freshman in high school.
And an ace. So the Lady Falcons with 2 in a row. Allie Morgan getting the points, but doesn't that make you feel old, man?
It does.
You see people like that,
I was
you're
actually
like, oh.
thinking about during the national anthem, Trav.
Back-to-back aces by the younger sister of Taylor Morgan. Just like that, 3 straight for Hillsdale. And there's those runs we were talking about in the Lucas keys. That's an hitting error. But for Lucas to maintain a good lead here, they gotta exchange points. They can't allow 3 or 4 in a row.
You can't look past Hillsdale. I know it's a Saturday early morning matchup, Trav. You got to be on your P's and Q's, and so far Lucas has been able to at least handle the run, but I think it was great for Hillsdale and Allie Morgan to get some of those serves to go and get on the board here and at least keep it close here in the early goings just to keep things alive.
Addie Melton, the libero with an ace. Free ball over. McGovern. Now the Grover. Yeesh.
Man, I don't think anybody in the area is blocking that one, Trav.
That was the key. Set up Shelby. Give her, good reads at the net, and that was a perfect set.
Yeah.
So a 3-0 run for Lucas gives them that 4-point lead once again. Bit of a miss hit. McGovern gets it over. And that's sometimes all you got to do is just hit it over the net and let the other side make the mistake, and that's exactly what Hillsdale did. It looked like they weren't set up to get a point there, but, able to get to the back line, and Lucas unable to return it. 7-4. Overpass, nicely recovered. Grover, though, with the miss hit.
I think it was a smart play by Grover right there. There was nobody over there, just too much power on that one. She's not used to Strav, lighten up. She's usually just spiking that thing down. So
yeah, it was a great read, but, volleyball, it's harder than it looks. Because, if you want to swing as hard as you can, most of the time you're going to hit it out unless you have that, that accuracy like Shelby Grover, but nobody's perfect. Nobody has a 100% hitting percentage. Right. Not even Mackenzie Weaver, a 3-time All-State and color commentator here at the OH Report, but even she had some misses.
It's a fine line that you got to walk between, obviously showing a ton of power, which makes it harder to block, but also being able to put it in spots where, there's no opponent there, to just be able to drop it in sort of a bucket, so to say.
And we were talking about this before the match. Reception errors, hitting errors by Hillsdale has been, a bad point for them as Belle Doughton ringing the bell there with her first kill of the match. And as you can hear, my voice is still shot from Thursday night.
But as you mentioned, Trav, about 26.8 errors for Hillsdale per game. That's obviously not a winning recipe here. Plays a big part of why they've started the season 0-5. Nice block right there from Grover. Able to shut that one down and make it 10-6 in favor of the Cubs.
In basketball, we would say return to sender, man. Right back at ya. Man, I am off to a rough start.
It's Brawl Week, Trav.
Brawl Week.
Still on your mind, man.
Nice save by Doughton. Free ball back over to Lucas. Right side, Sydney Blackledge kept up. Moner off the net. Point, Lady Cubs. 5-point lead.
I think for Hillsdale, you got to get something to go here because the serves start falling in for Lucas and Shelby Grover here.
Set up for Doughton. Down the middle. Woo.
Big play right there. So they did. That's what they needed from Belle Dalton to the junior.
Hitting that like she hit the bomb at Brookside Park in the Wendy's. I don't think that thing landed yet.
No, that thing's still in orbit.
Blackledge. Pinpoint accuracy on that one to get the point. Keeps it to a 5-point advantage. 12-7 here in the opening set of this tri-match. Just a reminder, we will have separate streams, but we'll have all 3 matches. Next up will be Hillsdale and South Central.
You're kind of the king of the tri-matches, Trav. You've been
the 2 tri-matches we have this year, who's on the call? This guy right here.
You're a volleyball expert, Trav.
Mackenzie Weaver's the volleyball expert. I'm just the guy pulling stuff out of my rear, make me sound like I know what I'm talking about. Doughton. Nice job by Grover to avoid that. Playing a little dodgeball. Gets out of the way.
Heads up play there from Grover. Knew it was, a little bit too much power there from Dalton. Just goes out of bounds.
Free ball over to Lucas. Grover from the middle. Saved by Major. Midkiff now. Too strong. Hillsdale back to within 6. Blackledge checking out. Libero checking back in.
Lady Falcons hanging tough here, Trav. Only down 6 points still in this game.
Ooh, let ball by Doughton, but Grover right there. Back set, pushed over. McGovern. Yummy ball. Saved. Nice job by Lucas defensively to keep it. They get the free ball. But miss hit and out of bounds. So a lot going on there, G, in that point.
Yeah, Trav, I got a little confused when you hit me with the yummy ball. I've never heard that. It's my first volleyball broadcast, calling it. So still kind of learning the terms, Trav.
Knowing you, Storm, and I, and our love for food, I'm very surprised you didn't know what yummy ball was. Off the block and down. Lady Cubs back with the point. Abigail Smith, nice swing. But yeah, yummy ball is when it just sails back over the net right in front of a player, and it's like it's yum. You just want to eat that thing up. It's yummy, so you just hit it as hard as you can right back down.
Okay. I'll put that in the bank, Trav.
Grover from the back line, too strong. That's something also Mackenzie and I saw in the first of the tri-matches. Lucas will play the first and third match again like they did. And it seems like they were a little tight. They weren't awake yet for that first couple of sets, even though they went 3 against Clear Fork and got the victory. But if they can be awake for this one, they'll be able to pull away. But right now, the Falcons sticking with them.
It's tough, to come in here after, a big Friday night win for the football team in Lucas. I'm sure, they were out supporting the guys, and that'll be a point for Lucas. They go up 16-10, but it's hard to get up here in the morning, Trav. Especially being the home team, you got to come in and set up the nets and everything else, and get everything ready in here, being the team, and especially the seniors. So it takes a bit, to get up here at 10 a.m. and, get wide awake for a big-time game.
Absolutely. And then on the other side, Hillsdale's Morgan goes just wide, makes it 17-10. Tough loss for the Falcons. I know they had a few key injuries after that Lucas loss, but shut out by rival Loudonville 14-0 last night. McGovern, cross shot, beautiful placement on that one. Makes it 17-11. You take a look at the replay, cross body too on that.
Sweet accuracy right there.
Call that 8-ball corner pocket, G.
Exactly.
It's not a volleyball term. I just made it up in the corners. Allie Morgan with the serve. Just off the top of the net and almost hit her sister in the face. 18-10, Lucas. Melton, the sophomore libero with the serve. Received by Kennedy Fickus. The Falcons with the point.
Hillsdale's been able to at least hang in here. They haven't been able to really shut down Lucas when they get going, but to get back into this game, they're going to go on a huge run. And we talked about early in the broadcast, Trav, about Lucas sometimes struggling with the runs.
That's out. So a couple straight now. You know what, Allie McGovern, she's impressed me in this first set. Grover, you can't do anything about that.
Tremendous setup too, and Grover. Great elevation too. I mean,
You get a good set like that, 9 times out of 10, she's gonna just rip it right back down your throat and score. Makes it 19-10, 19-13. 6 points away from a set 1 victory. Pushed over. Lady Cubs with a chance. Grover. Nice dig. Morgan off the block. That's a double hit. And you know who was in there? Shelby Grover.
She's all over the floor, Trav. She's been doing it all night. Excuse me, all morning long here for the Cubs.
Seems like night still.
She had the spike.
Did you even get any sleep?
I did. I got a couple hours, but that one's going to sail. It's Hillsdale. Still hanging in here, Trav. It seemed as if Lucas can't pull away, but Hillsdale also can't make the comeback to really tie things up. So adjustments will need to be made really for both sides.
Taylor Morgan with the serve. And that was a good serve, nearly an ace, and they're going to get the point nonetheless on the lift. You see the previous point for Hillsdale. Morgan, short serve. Right into the hands of Grover. Yes, off the deflection. (21-15), and now Shelby with a chance with 4 points to close this set out. And that's an ace.
The average, Trav, about 60 aces on every 380 serves Lucas does, and that'll be another one.
Back to back. 23-15. So Hillsdale, they were keeping it close at 5 points for most of this set, but Lucas pulling away here at the end. Overpass, yummy ball. Yes. A little croissant there for the Lady Cubs.
Especially in their breakfast, Trav, gotta go with the. I'm gonna go with a donut if I had a
donut. Yeah.
Choose there, but not a bad choice. That'll do it. There's another ace for Shelby Grover and the Lucas Cubs.
So the Lady Cubs take set 1, 25-15. They lead 1-0 in this best of 3. We'll be back on the OH Report.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
I'm Garrett G-Man Parlett, and check out my new show, The G-Man Project, exclusively on the OH Report.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Back here at the Cub Cave, Lady Cubs taking set one, 25-15 over the Lady Falcons of Hillsdale. Travis Berardi and, as Storm Blunchley would always say, the illustrious Garrett Parlett. G-Man, what'd you like? What'd you like from the Lady Cubs there in that first set?
Well, I liked how they were able to hang tough. Hillsdale had a couple runs in there, but we talked about it. They were able to handle those runs, Trav, Lucas was, and they were able to set up Shelby Grover and really let her, eat on those spikes. And then I thought they did a great job serving the ball, too. At the end of that first set, I think they routed all 5 straight aces. So able to get it done in that first set, looking to close things out here and win this match, Trav, in this next set.
And you could say that Shelby Grover was like the closer coming in the 9th inning. Needed 4 points from the service line. She got the 4 points as the Lady Cubs take the first point here of this second set. And not quite the sight you want to see for the Lady Cubs. Marissa Cockerty, the senior, coming back out on crutches. She, in warm-ups before this match, she kind of rolled her ankle. So hopefully it's just a little sprain, something she can recover from. Don't see any wrapping on it, so that's a good sign.
It's one of the worst things about sports, Trav, is, injuries obviously involved. Never want to see it, but hopefully she's able to recover and get well soon.
And you and I know personally how a rolled ankle feels, and that's just, it'll hurt for the day. Hopefully, if it's not too serious, you'll be able to walk on it by tomorrow. But hopefully,
it's one of those
serious
injuries that it's just doesn't really it never gets better. It's as if it's always hurt, and Lucas able to get a point here.
And that was just one of those, you got to stick your arm out there and hope it goes back over and it turns into a point. Doesn't matter how she did it, it's a kill. Ooh, that knuckled. Maya Midkiff starting off where Grover finished. 4 straight points from the service line. Morgan, back line. And that's a lift. Double hit called. Lady Cubs with 5 straight points to start this one.
How different and difficult is it, Trav, that, playing a tri-match? Because, normally you're exerting all your energy. You just got the one game. But for Lucas, I know they get the break, but still, it's still a second game that you got to prepare for. And not only physically prepare for, but, also mentally. The game plan may change, the game style may change. How difficult is it, or how different is it, I should say?
So, yeah, it's a good point you made there, G. Yeah, the tri-match, you only play a best-of-3, so you could only nice shot there off the right side. Lucas just completely in control of this second set, but you could only play 2 sets, get out of there, 3 at the most, but then it's a cool down and then playing back. Now, unlike Hillsdale, they'll go back-to-back, so honestly, it would be like playing 1 extra set if they played all 3 on each. But for somebody like the Lady Cubs, as Hillsdale on the board, they have to play their match, sit down, watch the second match, maybe go out and warm up during the final set, come back in, warm up, and get back out there. And that's the tough part. sitting down there after, getting all riled up,
Right.
and then trying to get that energy right back. As the refs and the line judge discussing things here right at the moment. I don't know if I'd be able to ref a volleyball match to see if, a set's a double hit, things like
Right.
that. And they did rule that a point for Hillsdale. So it stays 6-1. But refereeing at all, and not only because of you got to be eagle-eyed, but if you make one mistake, you have about
Right.
35 fans ripping into you. Speaking of ripping into something, Shelby Grover, another monstrous kill, makes it 7-1. And I'd say early MVP candidate, G.
I wish we could track the velocity, Trav.
Yeah.
And how much speed and power that she hits that with that one's not going to get over the net. It's Hillsdale will get back on the board, but I think if Hillsdale wants any chance to win this Trav, they've got to cut into this lead because once Lucas gets going, it could get ugly.
And like we said earlier, just avoid the runs. They can maybe exchange a point or two with Hillsdale. They're well in control, but they can't let Hillsdale go 3-4 times in a row. Doughton with the block. And they got it in. That time just dinked it over top of the block, and it just touched inside the line.
And that
Makes
was
it 8-2.
That was the fine line that Shelby Grover walks is whether to play with. You got to play with power and you got to play with precision right there. And able to just drop that one, Trav, right on the floor and get Lucas another point and moves this lead to 8-2.
Set up for Doughton, pushes it over, and it's a point that looked like that was going out.
Yeah.
But, in the heat of the moment,
It's hard to
it's
judge.
more of like just a reaction to get your hand out there, and sometimes you got to, really compose yourself from doing that. Nonetheless, it's 8-3 now. Macy Major with the serve. Back set to Grover. Phew. Would you want to stand in front of that?
No.
There's nothing you can do. It just hits so hard. Like, I'd dive out of the way instead of just stand there. You would too. I think our boy Storm would run away.
Yeah, Storm always mentions that he'd always run away. So I would assume that, yeah, Storm's running away.
I mean, it's a volleyball. It's a little bit cushioned, but you'll be welted for a good 4
Right.
days. Free ball back to Lucas. Left side cross shot. Ooh. Boyer gets the block, off the block, and that kind of threw off the back line.
We kind of seen Lucas go on that run, Trav, the set one with Shelby Grover back here serving, getting some aces. Only been able to get one ace since she's been back there, but still able to get some points as this lead is starting to get a little insurmountable if you're a Lady Falcons fan.
Missed the yummy ball, but stays up. Cross shot. Chance for Hillsdale. Double hit, though. 9-point Lady Cub lead here in the first match. Looking to close out the first match. Just a reminder, we'll be on about 10-15 minutes after the conclusion of match number 1 with the South Central Lady Trojans and Hillsdale, as the Lady Cubs were into the net. So it's not just going into the net, G, but if you go under, if you're across the mid-court line, it's a violation as well.
Okay.
So when you see the referee put the hand into the net,
Yeah.
you're either into the net or you're underneath. So that net goes completely down to the floor. McGovern back over. Swing off the block. Free ball. That was a crazy free ball. Somehow she just lined it right across. There was no arc to this shot. Just watch this, G. Just the height she had, she's able to just line it over, and it threw Lucas off for the point. Doughton now. The serve down the line. Yummy ball, McGovern right there.
A little bit of a run here for
A little
Hillsdale.
side of eggs right there for that one.
Exactly what they need to get back into this game. Lucas seemed to be pulling away a little bit. Able to capitalize as Hillsdale. And get another point here.
Ring the
on an
bell.
ace.
12-7. If you're Hillsdale, you'd like to get maybe 1 or 2 more points on this run to get that momentum back. See what Doughton can do. Blackledge sets up for McGovern. Grover from the back line. Another chance, free ball. Cross shot, Doughton's there. And an error on the Lady Falcons. Double hit. See, and that's where I wouldn't be able to set, because you have to have both hands perfectly symmetrical. If it hits one hand then the other, it's illegal.
So yeah, you mentioned that about being a ref must be tough in volleyball. Yeah, now that you say that, Trav, I can definitely get behind that. That seems like a very difficult job to go.
Ooh, big swing by McGovern. So you take away that early run by Lucas, and this has been a pretty evenly played set.
Yeah, Lucas started the game out, I believe it was 6-0 before Hillsdale even got on the board, and now, since then, it's been pretty evenly matched. That's going to go out in Hillsdale once again, Trav. Just a 4-point game.
Like the fight from these Lady Falcons. Monner into the net. As we say that, service error gives it back to Lucas. We'll have some subs here. Riley Rachel in for Hillsdale. Malia Strickler, Caitlin Cockerty in for the Lady Cubs. So week 1, college football, we already know. Brawl week has ended with me with the game on Thursday night, but big one down at the shoe.
Yeah.
Ohio State, Notre Dame. I mean, it's always Notre Dame. They have a chance, but Ohio State, I mean, I'm thinking of
prediction from me, Trav.
That miss hit into the net, but we're going to see how good Ohio State is. I know they're a good team. They're favored by 20.5, I think, or 17.5, I think is the line.
Cover.
Easily?
Easily. I got 38-10.
Miss hit into the net. So Lucas getting some of that momentum back at 16-9. But yeah, I think if Ohio State, especially if they can get out early to like a 2-score lead, maybe 3, I'd say 2 scores after 1, it's just going to be too much. That miss hit into the net.
I believe Cade Stover, too, is the starting tight end for the Buckeyes.
Yes, he is. Team captain, too.
So what an honor he is to this area from Lexington.
Did you see that that video of his position coach calling his mom saying, you know, he was named team captain by his peers as Hillsdale. 2 straight, back to a 5-point set. But yeah, it was a great video. It's on. I think it's on the Ohio State Twitter, so if you just scroll back through, but that was a great moment. Through the middle, it's a free ball. Chance Morgan had to adjust. Gives Lucas a shot. And a miss hit. So back to a 4-point set.
So far from my observation, Trav, it seems at times that Lucas, they look like a very great team. They go on these runs and they look like, you know, I think they got the best player on the floor in Shelby Grover, but at times they kind of can just shoot themselves in the foot and just make errors like, you know, that one right there. And now just a 3-point game. You know, this game is really up for anybody. So Hillsdale able to hang tough, you know, take that Lucas run and be able to bounce back and just make this a 3-point game at 16-13.
Lady Cubs, they need to get Shelby Grover back into the front. Because when she's on that back line, that's when teams usually get a run going. And another error. So Lucas only with a 2-point lead now. But because Cockerty out with injury, they don't have that frontline player like a Shelby Grover. So they need to get another point to get that rotation back around to get Shelby Grover up front. to do what she can do. Bumped over, but that's 4 hits. They call it double hit. So now I think they will get that rotation back, and there is Shelby Grover on the front.
Now look for Lucas to go on a little bit of a run here.
They need 8 to finish this out, but it's only a 3-point lead. Morgan bumps it over. Oh, and a miss hit. 17-15.
Things are getting a bit dicey here, Trav, for the Cubs.
Now, I will say this. I know it's a bunch of high schoolers, but I wouldn't be awake enough to make some of these plays right now. I'm barely awake enough to make this call. Grover, cross shot. She's going away from the ball, yet still able to find the court. She's nearly into the net and still goes cross her body.
It's a frozen rope.
Yeah.
That was right there, Trav.
Morgan pushes it over. Set up for Grover. Yep. I mean, you could just hit the point right as she's in the air. When that set is perfectly set up for her, when it's right in front of her head, you know it's probably 9 times out of 10 going to be a point.
It's about the same score last game, Trav. I think it exactly was when Lucas went on to score like the last 6 points of the match. Trying to do that right here. 2015, Cubs just need 5 to win this game. Match, I should say.
It's all right. You can say either. I say that both times. Nice serve from the libero. Addie Melton. That's the serve you want. Is Hillsdale takes its first time out of the match. But if it's not a let ball, now for you fans out there, and I know you as well, G, let ball is when your serve hits pretty much the tape on top of the net and stops the momentum but still goes over. You either want the let ball or you want that line drive just over the top of the net, and that's what we saw on that serve, and it's really hard to defend because there's no arc on it.
Now, I remember when I played volley with the boys when I was in high school.
Was that everybody just trying to spike it down your throat and hit you in the face?
We all were very, very bad. We didn't know how to play. It was like just the entire football team. So I kind of learned a couple rules. I remember that. I don't remember the terminology of that being called a let ball, but I did know that is legal, to where if it does hit it, but it still rolls.
Yeah, if it goes over, it's
no
fine.
point.
Yeah. Now, I know some people play where if it hits the net, it's not. Nope, it's legal. If it goes over the net. Almost forgot this one. Welcome everybody live and free on the OH Report. Let us know where you're watching from. Give us a shout out. We'll try and shout you out in the comments section. Free ball over the Hillsdale. Doughton off the block and down.
And they needed that too to stop this Lady Cubs run as Doughton able to use some force behind that one too. Make this just a 5-point game. So still within striking distance are the Lady Falcons.
Willow Funk will serve, another one of those softball players on a team that I believe, I'll call it right now, that has a really good shot of going back to the state Final Four. Yummy ball, kept up, turns into a free ball. Set up for Blackledge, but into the net. Back to a 4-point set. Just, unforced errors, keeping Hillsdale in this.
Good luck. Good luck stopping that.
Whew. Kathy Grover, coach, how you doing tonight? Today, I did the same thing. Thank you, OH Report, watching from New Washington as our JV football team just tied the game. Go Lady Cubs. New Washington, so Lucas taking on Buckeye Central.
Ooh.
Your friends at Chuck City.
I believe, are they 3-0?
They are 3-0.
3-0.
Yes, shout out to the Bucks. Went through the non-conference schedule undefeated. That's off the block and down, so Bell Doughton, ring it. It's 22-18, but yeah, the Buckeye Central Bucks, one of the pleasant surprises here. They return a lot of seniors. We were looking at that before during our preview show. always a team that's been down most of the time, but they had a lot of returning players. Derek's Dean at quarterback, and hey, look out for them. Lady Cubs get the point back. They're 2 away from taking this match. But now in the days where you have the 16-team playoff, and we'll talk more your opinion on that in the next match if this gets closed out here or the next set. But as Grover tries to close this out once again, and there's an ace, so we'll have match point. But honestly, if Buckeye Central can get 2 wins in conference, that's probably going to be enough to make the top 16.
Yeah, and I think Buckeye Central, they got some guys who can do some damage too, so I would look out for them, Trav, come playoff time. But Hillsdale able to hang tough in here.
Monner with the little off-speed, little change up there.
Match point too. With some resiliency.
Hillsdale will need a 5-0 run if they want to continue this one. Doughton with the serve. And a missed hit, so staying alive.
The door is still ajar here, Trav, for Hillsdale to get back into this one.
Doughton, back line, just out, so that'll do it. Lucas takes match number 1, 25-20. They'll take a break. And Hillsdale will be back to play South Central. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this. You're watching Volleyball live and free on the OH Report.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
I'm Garrett G-Man Parlett, and check out my new show, The G-Man Project, exclusively on the OH Report.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
So that wraps things up for match number 1. As you see, the South Central Lady Trojans getting ready for their first match of this tri-match. They will take on the Hillsdale Lady Falcons here in about 15 minutes or so. But, G, real quick before we wrap things up, Lady Cubs took care of business. They let Hillsdale in. That's some of the mistakes they made in the first tri-match against Clear Fork and Northmore. They let them back into the game by, allowing some big runs by them. So see if they can clean that up before the second match. But Hillsdale, 2 big runs on both sets. Other than that, it was an evenly played set.
Yeah, I think Lucas, they started out with that 6-0, run to start things off, and then Hillsdale we're almost able to get there, just not able to fully recover and really come back into this one and win it. But Lucas, I think that's a team Lucas should be able to beat. They were able to knock them off. I'm interested to see how Lucas stacks up against the likes of a South Central team that, has had a pretty good year so far. But before that, Trav, we got Hillsdale taking on South Central before Lucas, South Central.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get out of this stream. We'll have another one coming up immediately with this next match between Hillsdale and South Central. We want to thank our sponsor today, Ohio Valley Manufacturing, for sponsoring the scoreboard. Anybody else that wants to sponsor any volleyball matches this year, Brian at oh.report or Hayden at oh.report. Get a hold of them if you want to sponsor some volleyball. We have a lot more matches coming to you this season. But that'll wrap things up for match number 1. Lucas taking it 25-15, 25-21. Thank G-Man. You'll be back. Hayden Gray as well on camera. He'll be in as well at some point to talk. Ohio Valley Manufacturing, like I said, our scoreboard sponsor, and everybody else. Also, Adam Thompson doing everything graphics-wise, producing. Commercial sponsor, Knox Community Hospital and Park National Bank. But that'll wrap things up here from the Cub Cave for match number 1. Stay tuned. In about 15 minutes, we'll be back with the second match. But for now, for G-Man, I'm Travis, saying so long from the Cub Cave.